Hey, what's up, Michigan? Chief Meteorologist Joel Fritsma here with a look at your forecast update for the next couple days here in Michigan. Before we do that, I would like to personally say thank you guys so much for helping us reach 300,000 on Facebook. We couldn't do it without you guys, so thank you guys for following along. If you haven't already, please hit that follow button on Facebook, or if you're watching, of course, on YouTube today, hit that subscribe button down below, and of course, hit the like button as well. But before we start as well, obviously this video today can't go unnoticed without our sponsors, so check out Pro Powder at the top of your screen. That's our sponsor of today's video, 269-637-8722. With that being said, now we'll go into today's forecast. So looking at your screen here, there's a couple things that we're going to go over today, and that is precipitation, the drought, and upcoming temperatures, which arguably is probably the most exciting thing in our forecast headlines for the next week, with temperatures rising perhaps above freezing. But before we get there, we're going to go into precipitation over the next couple of days. And again, this is off the Euro run. So we're going to kind of scroll through this here. As you can see today, lake effect snow ongoing across portions of the state. This will taper off as we get into Wednesday morning as upper level winds start to cool, or I should say warm up a little bit. So those temperature differences between the lake water, the warmer lake waters and the cool air above start to kind of become closer together. A little bit of a trough across the area that will keep lake effect going for portions of the day on Wednesday into Thursday for the UP. And then winds switch to out of the north, perhaps bringing a little bit of a light accumulation for places in West Michigan on the day on Thursday. If needed, we will update our lake effect snow maps for this event throughout the week. But again, right now, we're not seeing anything too major. So we'll go ahead and let you guys know as the week goes on. But as you can see, as we get into the weekend, pretty clear out there. Nothing going on except for some zonal flow. So that's going to keep things pretty much going from straight west to straight east. And then as we mentioned in our forecast on Patreon to start the week, a little bit of a clipper could be moving through as we get into the end of the weekend. But again, right now, it's not looking too promising. This would be affecting places up north of US 10 primarily. But again, right now, not really seeing too much in terms of precipitation for the end of the week into your weekend. So things should stay relatively clear. We'll tab over into why that is here real quick. There's a driving factor. Again, I said zonal flow here. And here is your jet stream. This is highlighted by these reds and pinks here on your screen, even blues. This jet stream is zooming off to the east at speeds of almost or up to 200 miles per hour. So pretty quick across the country. If you're flying in an airplane anytime soon going west to east, you're going to get a nice tailwind. But that is what we call the atmospheric river, the subtropical jet there that has been feeding us system after system across the past couple of days, I should say. But that has shifted south, and right now there is a snowstorm moving through the Tennessee, Kentucky regions. And again, that'll move off to the east coast. And you can see that jet stream kind of stays to our south, keeping most of that action to our south as well before we move into the late weekend or early weekend into the late weekend, I should say here. Here comes the polar jet streak down from the south, and that could be what's responsible for some action perhaps late on Sunday into the early parts of Monday. But again, tough to tell right now. It is still, about 6 days out. So we'll keep you guys updated as the week goes on. But just to give you a precursor of what's to come and what we're seeing out there, we have that polar jet up here and that subtropical jet down here. So subtropical jet's going away, but we have a polar jet reinforcing as we get into the weekend. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. But right now, nothing too crazy expected out there. Speaking of moisture, we need it. Here is the drought monitor as of last Thursday. This is updated every Thursday, nationwide. We zoom in on Michigan here. You can see not so great of stats. Over 75% of the state is in abnormally dry or drought conditions, exactly 76.45%. Where you see the yellow is abnormally dry, whereas you have the tans and the oranges is moderate to severe drought, which impacts portions primarily of Northeast Lower and the Tri-Cities to Thumb region. So moisture is needed. The question that has been asked a lot today on our Facebook page is, well, we've got a lot of snow. We have a lot of snow sitting in our yard right now. Why is that not helping the drought monitor? And the simple answer to that is there's two things. One, the snow to liquid ratio is quite high. So when you get about 10 inches of snow, that is only basically equivalent to about 1 inch of rain or melted precipitation, I should say. So you do definitely want to get multiple feet of snow to get a decent amount of precipitation. And on top of that, the next answer is you need it to melt. So not evaporates, but seeps into the ground and collects in the water table. That officially helps the drought. But when it's sitting on top of the ground, it's susceptible to evaporation from the sun and not seeping and running off into the streams or underground. So we need it to melt, but not too quickly that the sun evaporates it all and it takes it elsewhere. So a gradual melt as we get into spring would be nice. And the reason, or I should say, the next thing we're going to look at specifically for that is, well, what are the temperatures going to do over the next couple of days? And that is, if I can tab over here, this is your GFS model run here for the next couple of days. And this is going to be going through the temperatures. As you can see today, across portions of, well, let's say the entire state, temperatures in the mid-teens, even the low single digits up there. Moving to the overnight period tonight, this temperatures are going to stay rather cool. We could see a couple locations get back down to the negative digits, meaning wind chills could be cold weather advisory criteria. We move into the day on Wednesday. Temperatures a little bit warmer than today. Temperatures start to hit 20 degrees in some spots, cooling down Wednesday night into Thursday. Thursday temperatures do get into the 20s for most of the lower peninsula, still in the high teens for other places up there in the UP and northern lower. Cold night overnight into Friday, perhaps due to some clearing in the high pressure in the area. And then we move into Friday during the day, and temperatures are getting quite close to the freezing mark here. And we move into Saturday too. We can see the same story. Temperatures statewide in the the high 20s to low 30s. And then as we move into Sunday, this is when we could see our first shot at above freezing for the first time in what feels like quite some time. As you see temperatures here, that dashed white line across the area is your freezing line. So if that freezing line can get a little bit further north, a lot of that snow is going to start melting, and it's going to feel pretty nice out there, and you can start shedding some layers if you really wanted to. But as we move into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're going to start to see that warm air, 50s, even perhaps 60s here in northern Mississippi or northern Missouri, southern Iowa, moving into the region along that subtropical jet, and that'll move slowly off to the east, bringing temperatures close to, if not in the low 40s for portions of southern Michigan, primarily south of I-96 at this time. We'll see with confidence how that ends up being throughout the week, as that stationary front does kind of ride that jet stream. So warmer temperatures are on the horizon here. We'll take a look at 3 different locations for their meteograms here. This first is your Grand Rapids Airport meteogram over the next 14 days here. You can see temperatures to start today and tomorrow in the teens. Obviously, we start that roller coaster upwards into the weekend, mid to low 20s. Then we get into Sunday. That's when you have your first shot at seeing right around freezing. And then we start into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they're going hot on this. 39, 41, and even 45 perhaps by midweek before we get off the roller coaster, kind of roll down that hill and get back to below freezing as we start the first week of March. But again, I will just put a disclaimer out here that once we get beyond the 7-day, 8-day range, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, really this 45-degree temperature and beyond, a lot of uncertainty. There is 50 ensembles that this number takes an average of, so there's a lot of ups and downs. You'll see a whisker that's way up here and a whisker that's way down here, and it takes the average of those 50. The closer you are to the left, obviously those box and whiskers are going to be a lot closer together. Further you get away, you could have box and whiskers that go all the way down to like 0 or all the way up to 50. So a lot of uncertainty once you get beyond this 45 degrees. So we'll have to see if we roller coaster back down, and obviously we'll keep you guys updated as the weeks or the days go on. We move over to Sheboygan for our northern Michigan viewers. Temperatures, obviously, with warm air not being able to get as far north, going to be a lot lower. But temperatures in the high teens over the next couple of days, start that roller coaster up, and perhaps see a chance at above freezing. So a lot warmer on the Euro than it is over the GFS here as we get into the start of next week, 23rd, 24th, 25th. And then that roller coaster gradually goes downhill here for Sheboygan Airport region as well. Temperatures back into the high teens as we get into the first week of March. And finally, Hillsdale County, kind of the Detroit, Southeast Michigan area. Similar story to the Grand Rapids Airport, where you start in the teens today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You have the mid to low 20s again. You're right at freezing when you come into Sunday, and then perhaps low to perhaps mid 40s as we start the 24th, 25th, 26th. So the last week of February here. And then it looks to be staying rather warm compared to places north as we get into the first week of March. But again, lots of uncertainty here with these last seven bars. So we'll have to keep an eye on those as we move into the weekend and start next week. See if our warmth can continue as we start March. But with that being said, that is all for your forecast today. And if anyone has any questions, obviously feel free to drop them in the comments below. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do that. We are on our way to 100K this year on YouTube. So if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Hit that button. You could be also gifted a membership courtesy of us or other generous people here at Michigan Storm Chasers who follow us during our live streams. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. It's been a good time talking with you guys today. And we'll see you next time here at Michigan Storm Chasers for another forecast update. Have a good day, everybody.